Hello and welcome to Purd Man Golf. I'm the Purd Man, aka Birdie Purdy, aka Positive Purd, aka The Cop, and thanks for watching this, my first full 18-hole video, showcasing one of my all-time most played and favorite courses, the Green Course at Bethpage State Park. It was a crazy morning for me. I got to Bethpage at about 6 a.m. to lock in a walk-up tee time, and went to get my car inspected. That took too long, so I ended up late for my 9:30 tee time. Luckily, the friendly starter was able to slot me in with a threesome about 45 minutes later, and I was off. It was a perfect day for golf, with blue skies, a smattering of fluffy white clouds, and nice warm weather. The first tee shot is fun and quite elevated on the opening par 4, which somewhat mimics the opener on the famous black course, with a slight dogleg to the right. I'm playing for a fade off the left side of the fairway, and I strike it solid, but it's a big push to the right. Lucky for me, the green course can be very forgiving, and I have a shot at the green. It's not the best angle in. I opt for my 60-degree wedge off a hard dirt lie. Can't ask for better than that. I'm left with about 5 to 6 feet for birdie. It's breaking a little left to right. And it's a birdie on the first hole. The second hole is usually backed up by a group or two, so I knew today was gonna be a good day when I walked right up to the tee and smacked my driver. A solid strike, just a little too much fade, and I end up in the right rough. It's an elevated green defended by a front bunker. I try to finesse a 3/4 54-degree wedge and just miss perfection by a foot or two, clearing the bunker but ending up in the rough short of the green. It's a good chip that scares the hole, but leaves me with a knee shaker for par. And I sink it. Feeling good, 1 under through 2. The first par 3 is severely uphill and almost blind to the green. Bending right to left, it should set up perfect for my draw. But I start it left, and it hooks into the trees. It looked like it took a miraculous kick off the trees and onto the green, but after searching the green and even in the hole, it somehow ended up here, about 40 yards short, and I blade the pitch across the green.
Heads up.
It ends up okay, and I just need to get this one reasonably close to give myself a makeable bogey putt. It's a decent chip, just doesn't quite break to the left as much as I expected. I make another good putt for the bogey. That's 3 putts through 3 holes and even par. I'll take a bogey after that tee shot all day. It's another elevated tee shot, and on this hole I seem to always slice it into the woods on the right. This time I get a very lucky kick and end up about 75 yards out just off the fairway. I like to think my wedge game inside 100 yards is a strength, and I execute the approach shot to give myself a good look at birdie. It's about 20 feet, slightly uphill and with a little bit of left to right break. And I just miss it on the low side. That's okay. Tap-in pars are good.
Turn to the last 6 inches.
Some tee shots just feel comfy, and I'm always confident cutting the corner on the 5th, I started as close as I can to the tree on the left, carry the water, and it's position A in the fairway. It's a full 50-degree wedge to 120 yards, and I hit the number just a few feet left. It's a makeable birdie putt, but breaks hard left to right. I thought I made it, and that's 2 near misses for birdies, but also 2 tap-in pars. The round is going well and I'm even heading into the 6th hole, but unlike the previous hole, the visual on this tee shot does not inspire confidence. It's 195 yards, uphill and defended by a front bunker. But none of that matters when you hit it so far off the toe and launch it 50 yards right of the target. I end up getting lucky again to even have a look at the green. These are some of the situations I love most in golf, when you have to get creative and play yourself out of tough situations. I whack it out of the woods, off the front upslope, and it ends up on the green about pin high. As good as I could have hoped for from there. It's a chance at par after a disastrous tee shot, and unfortunately it's another close miss, but I'm happy to tap in for bogey on this one. Time to grip it and rip it with another elevated tee shot on the first par 5 of the round. It's a bit of a wipey fade, but I'm in range to hit the green in 2. The lie is a little scrappy, but I'm able to put a good swing on it with my 3-wood and pop it just short of the green. I face a little bit of indecision here on whether to hit a bump and run with my pitching wedge or float it high and soft with the 60. I go with the 60 and it could have been great, but it doesn't quite carry far enough and I don't catch the downslope. I miss the birdie putt, but make another par. Pars are nice. This is another hole that I always feel confident about crushing my drive over the trees. This time I rope hook it left of the trees and I'm completely blocked out on my second shot and have no choice but to take my medicine, so I punch it sideways back to the fairway.
Yeah. Damn.
I always appreciate a good punch shot, and I still have hope to get up and down for par from the middle of the fairway. I hit an excellent shot right at the flag that lands on the front of the green, but for some reason it rolls out uphill about 25 feet past the hole. Again, after a dead tee shot, I have to be satisfied to tap in for bogey here, stopping the bleeding, limiting the damage. The 9th hole is a beefy par 5 measuring 560 yards and hugging around the little forest on the left. This one is piped down the fairway just left of center, though the right side would have given me a better angle to the green for my second shot. With about 250 left to the green, I'm wary of trying to hit my 3-wood over the trees, so I opt for a 6-iron and lay up. I managed to almost hook it into the trees anyway, but it curls around and rolls out to the left rough, about 80 yards to the pin. Just like on the first hole, it's another 80-yard lob wedge off a dirt lie and over a bunker. And just like the first hole, I pick it clean and stick it close. It would be real nice to bookend the front nine with a pair of birdies. It's a touchy downhiller with some right to left break, and yet again, it is another near miss on a birdie putt. That's 4 tap-in pars, a birdie, and 3 bogeys on the front nine, and I'm out in 38. Continuing the elevated tee shot trend, the 10th hole features maybe the highest tee box on the course. I hike up the steep hill, catch my breath, and crush a drive that fades its way toward the trees on the right down below. Fortunately, I have a window, but I have to keep it below the overhanging branches and yet land it soft enough to hold the green. It's perfectly executed and I'm on the green in regulation. I'm making great putts and just not sinking them, and it's another tap in for par to start the back nine. The snack bar is right next to the 11th hole on the green course, so we had to wait a good 5 minutes for the group ahead to play the hole. This one is similar to the par 3-6 hole, and after a long wait, I similarly hit it way off the toe and towards the woods. However, my lucky streak continues as I get a kick off the trees toward the green.
Bad shots. Oh, man.
It's another tricky finesse pitch shot off a hard pan dirt lie, over a bunker and with not much green to work with. No problem, I hit it perfectly and have to show off my vertical leap here, trying to see if it went in the hole. It did not go in the hole, but I have a decent look at par. And I sneak it in the side door and punctuate it with a very cool fist pump. That's a solid up and down. I used to always hit a 5-iron down the middle of the fairway on this hole, but recently I've been going for the Bryson line with driver, straight over the trees to the green. I hit this one just how I envisioned it, but unfortunately it lands in the front bunker, just short of the green.
Nice. Right in front of the bunker. Might have bounced.
A recurring issue with my bunker play is I often catch all ball, which is what I do here. It's a bad feeling, and I'm lucky it ends up on the cart path and not in the woods. I take a drop off the cart path and am faced with an almost impossible task. It's a hard pan dirt lie to a green sloping away from me that drops off a cliff to a lower tier after about 10 yards. It's a miracle that this one stopped about an inch short of rolling down to the bottom tier. What a roller coaster of a hole. I sink the 16-footer for par, sealing one of the most interesting up and down pars of my life. I climb yet another hill to an elevated tee box, and I'm faced with this 572-yard par 5 13th hole. The fairway slopes right to left, and the hole also curves right to left, so I favor the right side with my drive. I pop it up to the second baseman, almost missing the club face entirely, high and way off the toe. It rolls out a bit and at least ends up in an okay spot. This 3-wood is a bit of a toey hook, but it rolls to a decent spot just left of the fairway, and I'm 100 yards out for my approach. From here, I try to muscle a 60-degree wedge, which I almost never do. I hit it thin, but at least it catches a piece of the green and holds on.
Hey.
This is a tricky putt with a round hump to go over and down just before the hole.
Come on.
I hit my line, but not enough juice to get it to trundle down the hump, leaving a shaky 5-footer down the hill. I sink it for par. That's 5 straight pars. No big deal. In golf, sometimes you have to deal with variables that are outside of your control, be it rain, wind, bad lies, or in this case, sprinklers. I don't deal with the incoming deluge very well and hit a hook into the left trees. To my delight, when I walk up to find my ball, it is in the middle of the fairway.
Pressure of the sprinklers coming for me at any moment.
It's a green light approach after a bad drive.
No.
But I squander it, pulling my pitching wedge well left of the green. Though at this point I may seem like an expert hitting wedges out of the dirt, I carry this one too far and it rolls through the green onto the fringe. The ensuing putt is a major slider right to left, and I make a good putt but miss it on the low side. It's a disappointing end to the par streak, taking me to 3 over par with 4 holes to go. The long par 3 15th is a contender for the most elevated tee shot on the course, and you can't really see the green from the back tees. I'm not mad about this hybrid shot, but I miss the green left and end up in a bunker about pin high. I'd really love to get up and down out of the sand. And I execute this bunker shot to a tee, leaving about 2 feet for par. And I miss the par putt.
I can't believe you missed that.
This one still hurts. I always try to play golf one shot at a time, with a short memory, but maybe that missed par putt was weighing on me as I rope hook my drive into the left trees.
Alright.
I get a nice kick out of the trees yet again and I'm near the fairway.
Kicked out onto the fairway? Almost.
It's a 9-iron from the left rough, struck well and going towards the flag. With little spin out of the rough, it lands just short of the green and rolls all the way down the slope to the way back. It's a long shot at birdie, and I make a solid stroke, but just didn't give it enough juice. Then I miss the par putt, and I'm officially on the bogey train now. 5 over with 2 holes to go. The 17th hole has been my nemesis over the years here, mainly due to the daunting tee shot with water left and trees to the right.
Nice.
This time I sting the drive with a low fade right down the middle, slaying the beast. From here it's an 8-iron, which I strike pure and it's tracking right at the flag until it bounces off a sprinkler head just in front of the green and launches long and right, making for a tricky birdie putt. It's tough to read the break on this putt, but it's a slippery one down the hill. I tap, tap, tap it, and it trickles by just right of the hole. I knock it in for a huge par, and that makes 6 birdie putts that missed by a combined total of about 1 foot this round. On to the last hole, and I know I'm having a great round. There have been some lucky breaks and some real close misses, and I would like to finish strong on this tough finisher. hit a solid drive that again fades just a bit too much, leaving me a less than ideal lie and angle on my approach shot from the right side. I hooked this wedge a bit and missed the green short and left. Feeling the pressure here, I lock in for this chip. It's on line, but pops up a bit softer than expected, and the result is a 10-foot putt for par. This felt really clutch, as it just barely drops in the front of the cup. I know it was a good number for me, and the 76 ends up being my lowest round ever. While I didn't strike the ball as well as I'm capable of, my decision-making, scrambling, and putting were pretty spot on. Like most golfers, I'm still waiting for that day when it all comes together to see how low I can really go. Thanks everyone for tuning in to the first Perd Man Golf 18-hole vlog. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, as I hope to do more of these in the near future. I would also love to hear your feedback in the comments on this first attempt. And remember the Perd Man Golf motto, you gotta take the crookeds with the straights.